Welcome to this week's edition of the Cream of Cabarrus rankings for the girls basketball teams here in Cabarrus County. I'm Mark Plemmons, along with C. Jemal Horton, the sports editor for the Independent Tribune. And we'll dig right into things as we're getting into the final week of regular season. We got a couple more games to be played, then playoffs coming up next week. But new number 6 team on the ladies' side, the Concord Spiders.
Yeah, they make their debut. It's about time for the Spiders. They've really done a good job. Coach Scott Parkin, getting those girls. They've had some rough weeks. They recently had a really strong performance against Northwest Cabarrus, a big win for them, really showing that they're taking those strides as we get closer to conference tournament time.
And, of course, that win gets them assured of a spot in the South Piedmont Conference Tournament, which starts this coming week. Some of you may be actually seeing after the regular season is over. But as we tape this on Wednesday, we've got some big games coming up and some things that factor in to the regular season final standings. We move to number 5, Central Cabarrus, and the Lady Vikings. They've had a pretty solid season, but just never been able to break into that upper echelon yet.
Yeah, this week, the Vikings take one step down. They fall in our Cream of Cabarrus rankings down to that number 5 spot, as you mentioned, Mark. They've had a few tough outings there. They still have some strong performers, some dangerous performers, so anything can happen with this team. But, for right now, they're going to be penalized a little bit for taking those steps back. So we'll see where they wind up, though, when our final Cream of Cabarrus rankings come out.
And I think this week for the Vikings, Casey Rowden jumps up into the 20-point scoring range with a pretty solid effort in one of their games this week. We go to number 4, and it's a name that may not be familiar to some of you folks, but it's a team that is familiar, CFA Academy.
Yes.
That's AKA First Assembly.
Yeah, the school formerly known as First Assembly, has requested that they be called CFA Academy, and we certainly are going to respect that. So we're going to work our way through that. Please forgive us, Eagles fans, if we slip up just a little bit here and there, but we certainly want to give them all the respect they deserve. And that basketball team is playing really
They're
well.
very good, but how do we say that that CFA is lowercase CFA, and then that Academy is a big A on Academy?
Well, our producer James Nix has.
Is he going to make sure we get that? Okay.
He's done a fine job, and
I didn't know if we had to delineate that or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good basketball team. They're in the midst of their conference tournament.
Yeah, they get rolling there. I think the tournament's being held over at Northside Christian, a place with which they're very familiar. They had a big win, did the CFA Academy this past week. They beat a team, was it 84-17?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They had first CFA Academy, they had 3 players that scored more than the entire team,
Yeah.
the other opponent.
Yeah, they were led by Zaria Wright, who's been their leading scorer all season. She had 33 points in that outing, and I think Raven Mobley had 19 points in that game as well.
We move up to the number 3 team in this week's ladies' rankings, the A.L. Brown Wonders, and a solid season they're putting together in the MECA 4A conference.
Yeah, they had a tough loss on Tuesday night at West Charlotte.
And it's a road game, road game.
Absolutely. I was a little bit surprised because I felt that the Wonders were equipped for that, but it just goes to show, that any given night, anything can happen with a team. I don't think it's any type of setback at all for the Wonders as they prepare for their postseason play. But we'll see, moving forward.
It's a team that you don't want to play in that conference.
Not at all.
We move to number 2 this week, and number 2 is Hickory Ridge, a team that we saw just a heartbreaking loss to South Rowan last Friday night, double overtime, and Sydney Miller's layup attempt. I mean, just the rim was just so unkind because I thought that ball was going to drop, and it was just like, the whole air goes out of the ridge.
Yeah, they played the Raging Bulls played so valiantly in that game. Fought back, made some clutch shots, some clutch free throws. Laura McMenamin had a really good game, hit some key jump shots. Gabby Smith was her usual dominating self on the interior. And Stacia Means business also did perform well. And as you mentioned, Sydney Miller really had a really strong performance. So certainly wish her the best, hoping that that's something that does not, really hold her back because she is a really athletic, talented young player. And hopefully, Hickory Ridge will be able to kind of shake that off as they move forward here.
And then they did shake it off with a win on Tuesday night. Gabby Smith dropping in 30 in their victory Tuesday night.
What a talented freshman.
Freshman. Wow, 3 freshmen on that basketball team. Is there a senior on that team?
Not that I know.
If there is a senior, it's not in their core group.
Yeah, and they're going to be good for a while.
Number 1 team again this week is the J.M. Robinson Lady Bulldogs, and that's a team playing a tough conference and a good basketball team.
Yeah, just really talented. They had a tough loss. It was a close loss to Hopewell this past week, but have been able to bounce back, get back in the win column, and Lynn Smithson's squad, as we've talked about all season, they really have a litany of players that make strong contributions to that team, led, of course, by the college signee, George Washington signee, Kelsey Mahoney, Sydney Bickford, another signee, and Ashley Bearden, another signee. So they have 3 college recruits.
Exactly. Now, their loss to Hopewell, I think Hopewell had 1 loss in conference when they played them. At one point, my understanding, they were up 16 against Hopewell and lost by about 3 points at the end on that one.
Yeah, they really struggled there in that fourth quarter.
And that's going to do the rankings, the Cream of Cabarrus rankings for the ladies. Any closing comments before we roll out of this one?
I just want to know where my Radio Free Cabarrus crew is going to be.
Okay, we've had a busy week, of course, as we tape this. So we're at J.M. Robinson as Robinson wraps up the season. Then on Friday night, we've got 2 games. We'll have West Rowan at Hickory Ridge, and then Cox Mill will be hosting Jesse Carson. So you'll see those games, and then we're working on coverage for next week's conference tournament as well.
All right, look for it, folks.
All right, thanks a lot. This has been Cream of Cabarrus Rankings. See Jemal Horton. I'm Mark Plemmons. Thanks for joining us.